Hello everybody, welcome to Diablo Season 4 PTR Patch Day 2. So, in the last video I said I was really worried or concerned or wanted to see how the leveling felt, because it doesn't matter how many endgame changes they make if getting there is super boring for me. So I decided to dive in and not take the level 100 skip offered on the PTR, and instead I made a necromancer, and my plan was to just level. Yeah, let's play the game, try out the new helltides, and see what is going on. So for levels 1 to 50, which took me roughly 3.5, 4 hours, and this was pretty taking my time and taking it easy, I felt. I did helltides, which were way better, and they're great that they're available in World Tier 1 and 2, so you can just see a helltide, jump into it. They're fun, the XP was good, the monster density is great, and there's these hell pillar things where you play ring around the demons, running around in circles around them. Fantastic, great fun. There is this wonderful mechanic now in the helltides where as you kill more demons, you fill up a gauge of hell being angry at you, and as that gauge slowly fills up, you get more and more monster density, more and more rares, more and more bosses showing up until you hit it max, and then a bigger boss shows up, and that's it's cool, it's fun, it's engaging. It kept me kind of hooked in for the entire time. Just going from, like, most maps, depending on where I was at on that map, I didn't even feel the need for a horse. I would just be walking from, pack to pack and having fun. It's weird. So after I got to level 50, I wanted to compare helltides to the existing, or what I believe is the existing meta of running nightmare dungeons back to back. And so I did that. I ran a bunch of nightmare dungeons, starting out with the first one that they gave me. I don't even know, tier 5, something like that. And the first nightmare dungeons were boring. There's nothing in them. The monster density is crap. And the helltides were way more engaging at level 50. Yeah, there wasn't even close. But I wanted to give the nightmare dungeons a little more, dig into them a little more instead of just trying a couple. So I did them for a good amount of time, hour or two. I guess that's not a good amount of time, but whatever. That's how long I did them before my hard drive filled up with Diablo 4 footage. And as the tier of the nightmare dungeons increased, I would say it got more enjoyable for me. So not talking like efficiency, which I assume is better with a lower difficulty dungeon and running them faster. I felt way more engaged when I was pushing it to plus 14 above my character level for the monster levels in there. 15, 13, somewhere in there is where I was like, oh, fun. This is fun. I'm doing this. It's good. Yeah, it's working. But in general, I just wish the nightmare dungeons had more stuff in them. Like more cursed chests and cursed pillars and waves of monsters showing up and the butcher showing up, which was wonderful. He showed up and I was like 10 or 11 or 12 levels higher than me. Now that's a fight. That was a good time. It kept me interested. Yeah. So, yeah, I wish there was more stuff in the nightmare dungeons. So one of the new systems that I repeatedly engaged with while leveling was the new gear and the new Codex of Power. And what really came out to me, because of how I was playing, was I would do, let's say, a bunch of dungeons, or I'd do a bunch of helltide until my inventory was full. I'd go back to town. Okay, I look at my gear. Okay, let's say I replace one piece of gear. Wonderful. I go into it, I mess with it, I masterwork it, I change the affixes around, and it's great. Make sure it's got a good legendary power on it from the Codex of Power. Great. let's say I had replaced all my gear after doing the helltide. That's a little tedious to go through because there's a ton of animations when you're masterworking your gear there, and it just takes a while. And then it's hard to figure out like what exactly you legendary powers you had on. Like once you've, let's say, equipped all your upgrades and disenchanted all your gear or salvaged it, then you have to be like, oh crap, what legendary powers did I even have? There's a million in this list. I just wish there was like a favorite button, a gear set button or something for the Codex of Power. My other thought, or thing that happened to me over and over again talking gearing, was I ran out of the leather crafting pieces over and over again. And I'm not even upgrading my gear all that often. I feel like I'm not upgrading it enough given how quickly I was leveling. But still, I kept running out of it, which was frustrating. To be like, oh, I disenchanted my boots that had the legendary power on it that I wanted, and they're gone now, and I can't replace them. Ugh. So now my build's worse until I get more leather to go remake my boots. Just silly. So here's one of those Ring Around the Demons events where it's a Hellspire, and you click on it, and then you get a circle on the ground, and you need to stay in the circle as the circle's doing all this weird exploding, or draining your life, or whatever particular mechanic it's got, and you get more and more monsters spawning. As long as you step out of the circle, it's over. Event over. Staying in it, more monsters spawn, and then more monsters spawn, and then the hell gets angry, and some more monsters spawn, and it starts spinning around in the circle. These are great. This was just fantastic little thing that would happen. It felt super good to go out of your way to do these and stay in them as long as you can, or preferably not die, because they do get rather spicy. Yeah, these are great fun. Oh, there's Hell getting mad at me because I'm killing a bunch of demons. And then I maxed out, so if you look at the upper right screen near the map, we've got our standard currency that's always been there, 113 hell bits that we can open the chests with. But then next to that are hearts. And I don't really, like, you take the hearts and there's like a big skull horn thingy on the map, and you take your hearts there and you give them to the altar, and you get a buff that says the next time a blood angel spawns. I don't know what that is. I never saw a blood angel. I turned in all kinds of hearts. Never did the damn thing. I think it still had the buff. Yeah, wish that was a little clearer what the hell was going on there. But that's a minor quibble. And here's the Codex of Power that I was talking about earlier with the whole list of things, enchanting it costing a bunch of leather, and I think every single armor piece takes leather, excluding your weapons, and I don't think your rings do. But I would always forget what I was running. Oh, and the other thing is it doesn't make it clear, or I don't see it, what you've already enchanted your gear with. So I would enchant the same thing over and over again, and then only later look at my gear and go, oh, I've got a double, and it doesn't do anything, and I wasted my leather on it. So I'm stupid. I know they'll say they'll always build a better idiot, and you can't idiot-proof your game, but I wish it was a little clearer on what I had already enchanted on my gear already. Okay, so apparently it's called tempering, not masterworking. Masterworking is the max level thing where you run the pit. Tempering is where you can go in and add a random affix out of kind of a small pool there, like Elemental Surge. I'll get one random Elemental Surge thingamabobber added to my weapon there. This is the part where I like doing this, it's fun, but once you have to do it on all your gear, I wish that it was quicker. Like, I don't need to see this animation. Why have a skip button if it literally does nothing? It doesn't skip. Yeah, I wish this just was quicker. I do like how like the recipe blocks they drop. You can get different rarities of recipe groups that drop, and eventually I get some that are necromancer specific that have plus to skill necromancer skills or what have you. The other great thing is the resource tab for your jewelry, where you can get resource generation, resource cost reductions, just a great quality of life little thing. Like I think I used for my jewelry, I think they got resource every time on any character I built because it's just so nice. And you don't have to deal with any other affixes, right? It's all fairly useful. If you click resource, it's all fairly useful. They updated and added and changed a bunch of stuff to the gems, but this is a system that so far I feel like I barely engaged with, right? Like, my gear has a total of 3 sockets on it right now, and that's it. And I never got the resource needed to, add any sockets, which is a shame, I think. Like, you can't get used to adding gems at all. On the other side, if I could add gems, I guess I would mentally be forced to temper all my gear, Codex of Power all my gear, and then gem slot all my gear, and it would be one more thing. Maybe I'm not complaining about not being able to engage with that system. Maybe I wish the gem slots on gear dropped more often? Yeah, let's say that, and not being able to mess with it. Because there's already enough fiddling with the gear, which is great. I love it, but I wish it was quicker. So I pushed my game up to World Tier 3, dived into the Helltide, and got absolutely deleted. Oh man, I thought I was so cool. Man. Wark, dead. There we go. So, hardcore beware. And here's that cursed altar where you give the hearts to it and you get some weird buff. Yeah, never found out what the hell that does. Anyway, with that, I think I'll leave you all for today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what I do. And I hope you have a great day and to see you all real soon. Thanks.